I will ask, is there any public comment today? If there is, please come forward, state your name and address.
Good morning, Renita Bonadies Homer Township. I've been attending the Board of Commissioner meetings, executive meetings, and subcommittee meetings for over 2 years now on a pretty regular basis. I began attending to see how our government and elected public servants work in this county. When I first attended, there was public comment at the beginning of the meetings for non-agenda items. Then as each agenda item was proposed and discussed, there was an opportunity for public comments on that agenda item. When I attended the subcommittee meetings, there was a similar pattern of allowing public comments on the items being voted on. This is all now changed, especially at the start of 2023. We are now told that we're only allowed to make a public comment on the items that exist on the agenda, with the exception of this meeting, it wasn't stated. There is no longer an opportunity to give public comment as each agenda item is motioned and discussed. If new business is proposed and added to the agenda, there is no longer a method to have a public comment on these added agenda items, as the public does not know about them before the meeting. The subcommittees have also changed. We are now told that we are there to observe the meeting and that there is no public comment or interaction. This is really not true, I don't believe. According to the Open Meeting Act, these are public meetings and are to allow for public comments as votes are taking place and decisions are being made. So this seems to be a direct violation of the Open Meeting Act. The Executive Board also has a quorum of the board members, of the commissioners, present, so it should also fall under the Open Meeting Act and allow for public comment. When there were some big meetings a while back about the dams and the Four Lakes Task Force, the public was told at these meetings that the discussions took place at subcommittee meetings. That was where they were to voice their concerns and interact with the commissioners. So I ask you, where is the public voice heard and where are the issues put on public record? I realize even these public comments can fall outside of the new policy guidelines put in place this year. If all conversation goes on in private only, how do we let the rest of the public know about our concerns? How will you know that what the people that elected you and live in this county and community think and believe? Finally, I would like to know why the executive committee meetings are not live streamed and recorded. It seems there are many unable to attend these daytime meetings, so the recordings are the only way they can go back and hear what is going on in the county. For instance, the sheriff gave a 20-minute presentation at the executive committee meeting December 13th of 2022, and it seems strange to put that much time into reviewing the sheriff's role and activities in the county to such a small number of people. Why wouldn't that have been recorded and made available? I believe all of the executive meetings should be live streamed and the recordings made available for the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment?
I apologize in advance for having to talk fast, but 3 minutes comes and goes quickly.
Yes.
My name is Bill Demina from Homer Township. Good morning. I'm here to discuss 2 House bills that were passed relating to Proposal 2. In 3 minutes, I cannot fully convey the serious implications of these new laws on citizens. I encourage you to invite me to a working session along with Ms. Maneri and Sheriff Green for us to discuss the issues and develop ways to prevent the criminalization of law-abiding citizens. Key issues in House Bill 4127 include criminalizing the following, with exceptions: possessing a firearm in a polling place or within 100 foot of any entrance to a building in which a polling place is located while polls are open on any election day, possessing a firearm on any day that early voting is conducted at an early voting site or within 100 feet from any entrance to a building in which an early voting site is located. For 40 days before an election, possessing a firearm within 100 foot of any absentee ballot drop box. For 40 days before an election, possessing a firearm when a voter can vote an absentee ballot in person in a clerk's main or satellite office or within 100 feet of any entrance to a main or satellite office. Here are a few example cases that can cause a person to unintentionally violate the law. A concealed pistol license holder may carry a pistol concealed within these places or distances. However, it does not apply to any long gun in their vehicle or transported legally on foot within the 100-foot distances prohibited above. So with or without a CPL, a citizen with a long gun in their vehicle for a lawful purpose, like going hunting, violates the law if they are within the prohibited 100-foot distance conditions above. Fortunately, there's an exemption for persons lawfully transporting and possessing a firearm in a vehicle within 100 foot of an absentee ballot drop box 40 days before an election. However, this only applies to proximity to the drop box, not the prohibitions of within 100 foot of a building entrance. As of today, the drop box outside the city building next door is within 100 feet of an entrance, so a citizen violates the law under several conditions. Even worse, if a drop box is located out on a public street, driving by would cause a citizen to violate the law under several conditions. You may say, how would a law enforcement officer know that I'm in possession of a firearm if I'm just minding my own business? Take the case where you are legally transporting a firearm in your car and you are later stopped for a traffic violation. The officer asks, where are you coming from? And you answer, from dropping off my absentee ballot, or I went inside the city building to pay my water bill. He asks if you have any weapons in the car. You say, yes, I'm going hunting at a friend's farm. You may have just admitted violating the law. Sheriff Green, how will you instruct your department with regard to enforcement of these infringements on our Second Amendment rights? Anybody confused yet? Mr. Schulke will continue with part 2. Thank you.
Thank you. Please come forward.
Good morning, I'm Larry Schulke, Homer Township. So I'm going to read the following written by Bill Demina, but this is something I fully agree with. Let's look at the even more insidious companion bill, 4128. While absentee ballots are being processed, this bill prohibits all firearms in an absentee ballot counting place or within 100 feet of an absentee ballot counting place. Only uniformed officers on duty are exempt. Now, there's some issues to consider with this. What does processed mean? Does just bringing in the mail, stamping the received ballot envelopes with a date of reception, or placing unopened envelopes into the bins for later action fall under the definition of being processed? Or does it only mean on specific days written into law when the absentee ballot envelopes are opened, signatures verified, and tallied? I couldn't find a definition, so it's dangerously subjective. In addition, are these ballots always processed at the same location and at the same time? How's a citizen expected to know all the intricacies of these laws in order to not become a criminal? At a minimum, we suggest that the Commission come up with measures to mitigate unintentional violations of these new laws. For example, could require temporary or permanent, highly visible signs identifying areas where anyone possessing a firearm may not enter. This includes the parking lot areas within 100 foot of any building, entrance, or ballot drop box, polling places, locations where absentee ballots are processed or completed, etc. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment today? Seeing no more public comment, we will go into.
I liked the public comments and heard them, and I guess I'm just going to refer to Bill and make sure that our processes are good. And since I do serve on a lot of community committees, I think interaction would probably be a good thing. I'd let them, but, you know, as per what, you know, we'll discuss it. Thank you.